What if General Motors just so happened to collaborate with the brilliant minds at Toyota to put a glorified truck engine inside their blank canvas known as the Scion FR-S? Well, first off, this would never happen, but if it did, I bet it would be something like this. Being a Toyota product, it would have to be insanely reliable and under stress. It would need ice-cold air conditioning for the sweltering Louisiana heat, and it would need to be seamlessly integrated where the only notion of it being tampered with was when you turn the key.
There you go, starts right up.
And also, it will need to sound absolutely amazing.
Welcome to Deconstructed. This is a show where we take a car, we build it, and then we review it, because who gives a shit about a stock car? Welcome to Deconstructed. So what we're looking at, this is a 2015 Scion FR-S. Front engine, rear wheel drive, sporty. So as you know, this platform is notorious for being lightweight, handling great. When this car came out, this is like one of the most overhyped cars of like 2012, 2013. And it lived up to the hype. It's a great car. So there's multiple ways you can build these cars. You can build the F-820, supercharge it, or turbocharge it. Those usually don't last very long unless it's on E85 and running like 8 or 10 pounds of boost max. You can K-swap them, you can JZ swap them. These are excellent drift cars or whatever, but this one is the run-of-the-mill LS swap. Now, this LS swap here has been integrated extremely well.
If you ever tinkered with LS engines, you quickly find out that they are just a more expensive and greasier version of Legos. This 5.3-liter truck-based engine in the Scion has been completely overhauled from intake to oil pan and is using C5 generation Corvette Z06 cylinder heads, which are the best flowing cathedral port heads offered by General Motors. The camshaft is directly from the LS9 supercharged ZR1 Corvette, which is the most aggressive camshaft profile General Motors ever offered. To get this engine to fit where the 4-cylinder Boxer engine used to be, a company called Sickie Manufacturing makes the job a little bit easier. They build an oil pan specifically designed for an LS into an FR-S, which emulates a Pontiac GTO front sump style oil pan. The exhaust headers are pretty out of the box, and after a couple heat cycles, they develop this bronze tinge, making them even prettier than brand new. And where Mad Hatter Garage steps in is adapting the FR-S heater core to work with an LS-style water pump in the cramped engine bay, so the car maintains all HVAC controls. They mount the oil filter where it can be easily serviced during oil changes, building a custom Y pipe to route the exhaust to those JDM boom tubes. And then they conceal it all under an aluminum skid pan to protect the transmission and shiny swap parts.
Typically, when people do LS swaps, they want to eliminate everything, want to make it as lightweight as possible to go with a standalone ECU, and you lose all the functionality of it being a daily driven car. See, this is one thing that I ran into, especially whenever I LS swapped my 240SX. I completely gutted the car, completely gutted the dash and everything. And if you're not on full throttle and not trying to die, everywhere else kind of sucked. So this here, everything is integrated like factory. So my tach works, my speedo works, my fuel gauge works, coolant temperature works, all my dash lights still do dash lights. Like if there's a problem with the LS swap, it will give me a check engine light. So that's some reassurance to know that, hey, you have a vehicle that will behave and perform like factory and to factory standards. So pop the key in it. There you go, starts right up. As you can see, gauges work, speedo works, everything works.
Don't be suspicious, 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 don't be suspicious.
For this monstrosity of an FRS, controlling the madness under the hood and making it drive like a stock vehicle is where the skill comes into play, and the definitive cheat code to this is the Holley Terminator X Max standalone ECU and transmission controller. The Holley Terminator is a complete system overhaul for any LS-based engine, where traditionally you would take the original truck harness, bastardize it to work in a different vehicle, and then calibrate the OEM ECU with credits and a tuning cable. The Terminator X gives you a brand new labeled harness and ECU with self-learning capabilities and even more advanced calibration options to tune the VE table and ignition timing. And also, if you want, boost control and nitrous control for when you really want to party. Where the max version of the Terminator comes into play is it integrates drive-by-wire control for an extra level of safety and engine protection, and also transmission control for the 6L80, including OEM-style tap-up and tap-down paddle shift controls. In essence, it's simple enough for the at-home DIY type of build, and advanced enough for high-horsepower forced induction applications.
So let's take it for a test drive. Maiden voyage in the Chevrolet Corvette FRZ86. Drives pretty damn good if you ask me. We have AC, something that a lot of you street cars out there do not have. And it's imperative to have it, especially we're in South Louisiana. Make sure I got the right of way. Shit on the 6L80 like, oh, the 4L80 is better. Yeah, for drag racing. Now, people have to realize that the 4L80 has like a 248 first gear. First gear in the 6L80 is shorter. So you get some added performance by just running a 6L80 over a 4L80. Now, if you hear the exhaust, it's not an X pipe, it's a Y pipe that's been custom fabbed to the factory, not the factory mufflers, but the mufflers that came on it. So the mufflers that came on, it's probably some cheap Chinese, like dookie sounding mufflers on an F-820, but on this, for some reason, it sounds like a vet, dude. Above this, we've seen that on Instagram and YouTube. There's cars making 15,000 horsepower, super nice. Carbon fiber everywhere. But for like a blue collar Corvette slash JDM crossover, this is pretty solid. Like, this is something that I would actually buy. Like, I would legit invest my money into this. Too much trouble. I'm parking it up. Too much fun. Notice the car isn't on stock suspension. So first off, we got these Hot Boy Work CR Kai reps on it, stretch tires. It came like this. This isn't the ideal wheel and tire setup, but I mean, it looks fine for now. It's on some TN coilovers. It drives pretty decent, even with me in it. I'm a heavier dude, and Jacques from Mad Hatter Garage, we're driving it. We didn't scrape anywhere, so it seems pretty decent to me. Give a reference. I'm a bigger guy, and pretty much the top of the roof is like, or what? Let me see if you can look down. Top of the roof is right here. The car is lowered. The car has an LS in it, and it's small. It's a little too small for my taste. I'm used to a C6 Corvette, but it's all right for what it is. Only thing that is an issue is that the drivetrain's the rear end gear is so short. A 410 with a small tire and a 6L80 first gear it's useless. First gear may go up to 28 miles an hour and you have so much torque, you blow through first gear instantly. So we have it forced to start in second gear, and even then, it still blows the tires loose. So it's a little ripper for what it is. I mean, for what it is, you have to remember, for what it is, it's a mild effort. And I know max effort 5.3, it's a mild effort. OEM cam, OEM stock unported heads, OEM intake, 6L80 with the OEM G8 GT stall converter. I mean, it's nothing too crazy out of proportion, and it's an absolute blast to drive combined with a great chassis, lightweight. Thing works, I wouldn't say flawless. There's still some bugs we gotta pick out of it. Like the transmission shifts pretty firm. So, I mean, in certain scenarios, if you're going around corners, you're giving it the beans, it can get away from you. It can be a little bit too much to handle in certain scenarios. But altogether, I mean, this is one of the funner swaps that we've done here at Mad Hatter Garage. And right now the owner is trying to dump it. He's trying to get rid of it. He's trying to sell it. And if this video does good, I might just buy this thing, because this thing with a Pro Charger setup or boost, an LSA blower, we'll try some type of boost, even throw nitrous on it. That and a proper rear gear ratio, because the thing running 410s right now and first gear is useless. It's damn near a crawling gear. Yeah. So if this video does well, I may be buying this thing, throw a blower on it, and this thing would absolutely eat. But, I mean, until then, welcome to Deconstructed. This is Deconstructed, bro. We built this. We had fun with it. And I'm still alive, so successful episode, I guess.